Hey guys, this is Kirop speaking, and in today's little dev update we are going to quickly cover 3 topics, and that would be Spaceframe Chassis, then factory size and their add-ons, as well as some changes to the factory tab and an example of how the QA slider works. Alright, let's get right into it. So here you are in 1946, and you have a bit of trouble here. Because previously in automation you could not build Monocoque chassis in 1946, and you still can't. But now at least there is an alternative, so you don't have to make your nice sporty coupes as ladder chassis stuff. Space frames are new to the game, and the rear one doesn't work yet, otherwise I would have chosen it. But as you can see, space frames are now in, and they are a bit different than I originally had guessed. They are not lighter than monocoque chassis, in fact they are heavier. So monocoque chassis more or less came about by having space frames and adding more and more links until you basically filled the whole thing, because that is the most efficient way of doing it. They are stiffer. Monocoque chassis are stiffer than space frames. But space frames don't need huge presses and can basically be built in a garden shed. So that is what you are going to do in case you choose a small factory. But more about this in topic number 2. So yes, a little space frame chassis here, and there's really not that much to it. We now have all the suspension setups for the front engined version working, and it deforms and everything, so that is coming along nicely. The rear version still is empty and needs a bit of modeling to be finished. And now we have advanced the year to 2015 in order to see all the options, and I want to talk a bit about factory size, factory add-ons, and the limitations that come with factory size. And where we were talking about space frames, they do have the no mass production flag, are generally something you want to build in a smaller factory, and monocoque chassis will require a medium-sized factory to build, just as steel panels. So if you want to do some kind of mass production early, you would have to go for a medium-sized factory to start with. Otherwise you have to resort to ladder frame and space frame and just handmade aluminium panels. The limitations are you can make ladder and space frame chassis in a tiny factory, and you require medium size for monocoques. Then glued aluminium monocoques though are a bit different, as is carbon fiber. They only require a small factory, so a high-end producer in the modern era could be running a small factory, and a small one factory would be the equivalent, modern day equivalent to the Morgan factory, while Ferrari is more on the level of like what do they produce, like 20 cars a day or something, and that would be a small 2 factory. So that very well fits in the theme of like high-end producers or small-scale producers. And then there will be various requirements on these parts, what kind of add-ons you need too, and all these add-ons will be going onto the factory screen here, which here still is empty, but there will be this is just a placeholder of course, and there will be slots where you can build your add-ons, which then allow you to make the cars and engines you have designed. And you probably have seen these little flags like requires Forge Works, and those will be exactly that. They require an add-on to your factory in order to be built, and on this page you will be seeing what kind of add-ons your designs need, which you are currently engineering in order to fully work, and you can then build these add-ons in order to make them sync up with the stuff you are engineering, so that you can put it right into production. Last time I was taking you to the dreaded spreadsheets and talked about the quality of cars in production and how the tooling quality and automation level affects the quality as well as the QA. But now it's in the game, and please ignore these huge numbers. There is some factor million or something going wrong right now. Very easy to fix probably, but yes, it's still wrong. Anyway, so the graphs are working. So if we now increase the automation level, what you see here, again, like in the last video, but this time it's going to be made a bit clearer because you have the example right here. So the x-axis here is the quality of the cars you are making, and 1 marks 2 design specifications. If it's above 1, well, it's nice, lower tolerances and stuff, so very nice, works fine, definitely won't be called back because that's just working as intended. But if you are on the long, low tail of the distribution, there are a few outliers. And the automation level, the more automation you have, the lower amount are on the sides, like the tails in both directions are smaller. The Gauss distribution or the normal distribution is just narrower because there are fewer mistakes that really happen. It's more automated, while if many hands are involved, then yeah, the spread will be larger. So, what does this mean? Well, anything that is below specifications, which is 1, may cause a callback of a production batch to a certain chance. And you can control that chance via the controls you have here. And if you are running a very low tooling quality factory and are fully not automated, and are running free shifts, like using those tools a lot, then the tools will wear out quickly, and that is what is shown with the different colored graphs here. The green one is for the production start, yellow one at 3 years down the production at this level, and the red one is 5 years down the line, which is about the time where you want to retool your factory in order to refresh, give your cars a facelift. And what you can do in this case is you have this extra additional slider here, which is the QA threshold level. This determines where you cut off and where you say, no, this car actually from this lower flank doesn't get through the quality control and has to be fixed before it's put in the parking lot. And that, of course, will slow down production if you get too many of these. This is what you're seeing here. Slowdown in production, and let's take our super high quality limited production, as you remember. Well, it's not set to limited production right now because it still doesn't save that, but the S160R we had last time. And let's make sure that there will be no callbacks, or very few of them. So we amp this up to 100. What will happen later is that you see the line, the cutoff line, wander in this direction. And what you can see with this horrible automation level and tooling quality running full speed ahead at 3 shifts is that if you have that high a tooling level, then yes, you will have a bit of a slowdown effect here. At production start already 37.6%, because 37.6% of the cars have to go back and be fixed, and 71% later on. But at least callback chance is really low, right? So that's awesome. No, then you have kind of fucked up because this is really inefficient. At least you're only producing 500 of them, right? So that might be okay. That is a tool which works nicely, so let's see how this number develops if we have just higher tooling quality in general. You can see a drastic change, so you are even lowering callback chances further, and if we amp this up, then you basically have no slowdown either. And if you bring those down, well, there's really nothing. So if you have a super high quality production line and high level of automation running low shifts, then you pretty much can drop the QA level down to 0 and save a bit work there. There might be the odd one out which then gets called back, but that's really it. very low chances then. Alright, I hope this illustrates things nicely and hope you enjoyed, and see you guys next time.